Hello, friends. You are welcome to Anchor Network, where you get updates of things happening around you. I appreciate every one of you that have subscribed to this channel. And if you have not subscribed, I say thank you very much, because I know that at the end of this news, you are going to subscribe. And I want you to press the red button and also the bell icon so that you'll be notified anytime we publish any news. Thank you very much once again. A few hours to the end of his reign as Ogun State herdsman, embattled Governor Ibikunle Amosun contacted the State Commissioner of Police, Basha Makama, confessing that he had thousands of arms and millions of ammunition in store at a secret armory in Government House, and that he had decided to hand them over to the police. Mr. Amosun's anointed candidate for the March 9 governorship election, Adekunle Akinlade of the Allied People's Movement (APM), had been roundly defeated by Dapo Abiodun of the All Progressives Congress, and the governor was now desperate to clear the government house of any incriminating materials as Mr. Abiodun moved into to take charge. Shortly after he was contacted, Commissioner Makama raced to government house with some of his subordinates. On arrival, truckloads of arms and ammunition were brought out of a nondescript armory inside the Ogun State government house, and then began a short handover proceeding. During the governor surrendered at least 4 million of ammunition, 1,000 units of AK-47 assault rifles, 1,000 units of bulletproof vests, and armored personnel carrier. At the event, Mr. Amosu said he procured the arms and ammunition to check the widespread insecurity in a state of 3,751,140 and 140 residents, according to the 2006 census. He said he decided to keep them at the government house armory to ensure they were not allocated indiscriminately by security agencies. The speech making over the arms and ammunition were driven to the police command headquarters in the Elewe area of Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. 4 weeks after the event, top Nigerian security operatives remained alarmed that a civilian governor would create an armory and store thousands of arms there. The agents are also wondering why Mr. Amosu has not been arrested and prosecuted for violating sections of the Nigeria Firearms Act. The law forbids individual and civilian institutions from illegally operating armories or possessing prohibited firearms, including artillery, apparatus for the discharge of any explosive or gas diffusing projectile, rocket weapons, bombs and grenades, machine guns and machine pistols, military rifles, namely those of calibers 7.62 mm, 9 mm, 300 inches and 303 inches, revolvers of pistols, whether rifled or unrifled, including flint-lock pistols and cap pistols. It remains unclear how Mr. Amosu obtained the weapons. Authorities are wondering how he imported the weapons and how he transported them to government house and stored them for prolonged periods without being detected. Some security experts say they are suspicious he might have acquired far more weapons than he gave up to the police, and that some of them might be in wrong hands already. The former governor, now senator, declined to give his own side of the story. He did not answer or return telephone calls made to him over 5 days. He also did not respond to texts and WhatsApp messages sent to him. When contacted, his media advisor Rotimi Durojaye requested this reporter to email him the questions meant for Mr. Amosu. 5 days later, Mr. Durojaye is yet to respond with answers. Authorities at Nigeria's key security agencies told Premium Times Mr. Amosu may have procured the arms and ammunition without securing end-user certificates from the Office of the National Security Advisor. End-user certificates are absolutely required to import controlled products into Nigeria. A guideline by the NSA office stipulates that end-user certificate requests for arms and ammunition must be made by approved security agencies on behalf of themselves, security agents on behalf of themselves, or their qualified vendors. Neither Mr. Amosu nor his state is an approved security agency or qualified security equipment vendor. In line with international best practices, EUC's for arms and ammunition are to be obtained before the shipments of the items from the originated country. These conditions equally apply for parts and accessories of all military armaments and hardware, the guidelines state. A spokesperson for the office of the NSA, the only government institution responsible for issuing end-user certificates, did not return requests for comment, but Premium Times learned from multiple sources within the agency that Mr. Amosu or his state could not have been granted certificates to procure and store arms. Also, the Nigeria Customs Service said Mr. Amosu did not clear the deadly equipment through Nigeria ports and that no one without an end user could be allowed to bring control items into Nigeria. Only the Office of the National Security Advisor can issue end-user certificates for importation of arms, and any person or organization without the document cannot import weapons into Nigeria, the spokesperson for the Nigeria Customs Service, Joseph Atta, told Premium Times. I repeat, weapons can never be imported into Nigeria without end-user certificates. Mr. Assad said even security agencies, including the police, military, and customs, are required to secure end-user certificates before embarking on arms purchase. The custom regularly intercepts attempts to import illegal arms into the country, but the owners often disappear as soon as such illicit shipments are discovered. Yet, security analysts believe that for every container intercepted by customs, dozens would slip through the port due to Nigeria's porous security measure. Illegal possession of arms is a criminal offense under several Nigerian statutes, including the Robbery and Firearms Special Provisions Act 1984 and the Firearms Act 1990. In May, 3 Nigerians were sentenced to combined 120 years in prison, including 20 years each for illegal possession of firearms. The Oyo State High Court relied on the Robbery and Firearms Special Provisions Act to convince the trial. Arms proliferation has long be Arms proliferation has long been a big driver of election-related bloodshed in Nigeria, with hundreds of deaths reported across the country in the 2019 elections alone. In Mr. Amosun's Ogun State, a number of residents died in widespread shootings between February 23rd and March 9, the days of the presidential and governorship elections, respectively. Most of the elections-related deaths, including of police officers, were reported in Ilaro, Abeokuta, and Ijebu-Ode, three of the state's largest cities. Security sources blame the killings on arms proliferation across the state, a menace they said had been largely difficult to contain. Security analysts and civil groups contend that politicians are the major suppliers of deadly weapons into the street because of their desperation for victory, which they often find impossible to recover post-election. Aside election violence, arms proliferation has also been linked to the growing spate of kidnapping, banditry, and herdsmen violence, claiming tens of thousands of civilian deaths within the last 4 years alone. Mr. Amosu also recognized the danger of arms proliferation in the early days of his administration. Less than 4 months after he assumed office as governor in September 2011, he raised a judicial panel to probe the proliferation of arms in Ogun State. He blamed his predecessor, Gbenga Daniel, for fostering an atmosphere of gun violence for political benefits and imposed a moratorium of gun ownership in the state. Premium Times' efforts to get Mr. Amosu's comments were rebuffed by the politician. Several texts, web and messages, WhatsApp messages, and telephone calls to his 2 active telephone lines went unacknowledged or returned over 5 days. Mr. Amosu's spokesperson, Rotimi Durojai, also took questions from Premium Times on behalf of his principal, but said he could not respond to them because he was unable to reach his principal after several attempts. Mr. Durojai served as Mr. Amosu's special advisor on media and publicity when he was governor. The police also declined to give comments. First spokesperson Frank Mba directed all inquiries about police involvement in the matter to Commissioner Makama. But when Premium Times sent a set of 5 questions to Makama, he declined to respond. This was despite despite his initial promises that he would respond to the inquiries once he received the questions, which were sent to his telephone line and also through the state police spokesperson Abimbola Oyeyemi. So these are the this yeah these are the new discovery that we've heard about the former governor Amosu. I would like you guys to put out your comments and let's rub minds together. Thank you very much. Bye.